Good morning, people in the south. Good day, those who are in the east. Good afternoon, our brothers and sisters in the west, and those on top in the north. Good evening. Today it's a different day. I'm used to temperatures changing now from winter to summer, and is it winter to summer, winter to summer, winter to spring, winter to autumn? It's winter to summer. Yeah. So today it's a different day. The weather is quite uncomfortable outside. We are heading towards a new season, and our bodies are trying to adjust into a new season, and it's quite an uncomfortable if you're not used to the heat in Africa, and African heat. So the weather is a bit uncomfortable. It's a bit hot. It's a bit blazing hot outside, but we will get used to it. Very soon it will be chilly. Around mid-September, October, it will be chilly. We're getting there. So there's this phrase that people like to use in many occasions, especially when you tell people that you want to venture into business, or you want to start your own business, or you want to venture into entrepreneurship. And a lot of people will tell you that entrepreneurship, my brother, my sister, it's a hidden personal development journey. Through that journey, you're going to discover a lot about yourself, more especially how resistant you are as a person, because you're going to face a whole lot of challenges. There's going to be things that you will be learning for the first time. There's going to be challenges that you experience for the first time in your life. There's going to be hills. There's going to be more hills than uphills than downhills. So you're going to go up more than you go down. So you need to be prepared. You need to be in a state where you have prepared yourself emotionally and physically to take on the journey of starting a business, because it's one of the biggest tests of faith and a strong courage. So you need a lot of strong courage, you need a lot of faith to take up this journey. With that being said, there's a whole lot of you out there who want to take up the journey of self-discovery through entrepreneurship, and you want to discover who you are by taking up the route of entrepreneurship. That's not a bad thing. Many people would say, I would not encourage you to do it, but it's a way to go. Good things and better things comes to those who take risks, comes to those who believe in themselves, come to those who believe in their thoughts, come to those who believe in their capabilities, come to those who don't follow the crowds. So we need to get that through our skull, that this is a journey that requires a whole lot of courage, a whole lot of faith, a whole lot of strength to wake up every morning and face new challenges every day. And in today's discussion, or in today's episode, we are going to look into the disruptive innovations that changed the world. Disruptive innovations that changed the world. The world is now where it is today because someone came up with a thought, someone believed in what they were thinking, someone believed in waking up every day encouraging themselves to wake up with the courage to say, this that I'm doing, it's going to give something in the end, So someone had sleepless nights, someone had challenges that resulted into tears for them to bring these ideas into life, says that the world would be where it is today. So we're looking into ideas that we are today enjoying such ideas which came through a thought for the creators of such disruptive ideas to believe that they're going to work and they're going to change the world, And first one that comes to mind is Mixit. If you guys still remember the social media platform, the social media platform called Mixit. I'm not sure if Mixit was used across the globe, but if you are anywhere across the globe and you've never heard of anything like Mixit, you can search what Mixit was or what Mixit is and learn a thing or two about what Mixit used to do. So Mixit was more like a social media platform. I think it was the first one that we got introduced into social media through, and a lot of people had downloaded Mixit. A lot of people used Mixit to chat, just like we do with WhatsApp today. So Mixit was the WhatsApp of the early 2000s. Around early 2003-4. Around early 2003-4, that's when we got introduced to Mixit. Many of us, and majority of us, did not have cell phones that could support the platform, so we couldn't download Mixit, and as such we couldn't use or utilize the service. So I remember I've never had Mixit account. I've never used Mixit in my life. So it came and went without me experiencing it. But I knew people who used Mixit. Unfortunately, a lot of people did not have cell phones that they could be able to download Mixit, so that you would be the only one in the circle of friends with a phone that could be able to download Mixit, and it became redundant because there was no one else that you could chat with around you. So you download Mixit, but what are you gonna do with it? And then we also had Facebook after Mixit. Facebook was a big thing, a wow thing to say, hey, this one you can even take pictures. When we had our few first camera phones where you could take yourself a picture and put the picture up on this platform, and then everyone can see you, or everyone could see you all around the world, and you could actually chat with people you don't know in other parts of the world. And this was wow, this was mind-blowing for us, and we were introduced into this entire thing. Then we had Twitter came a little bit after Facebook, and the only difference between Twitter and Facebook was the fact that on Twitter was more like a private school social media platform. Facebook was more like a public school social media platform. Even today, the ranks are still like that. I don't know who decided, but you don't find the content that you find on Facebook, on Twitter. So if you go on Twitter and on X today, if you go through X, if you have an X account, and you go through the content that we have on X, through the timelines and all other things that you see you have on Twitter, there's a high chance that 50% of the content that we have on Twitter, it's not available, or it's not there on Facebook, simply because Facebook has been treated as the public school kind of platform. So Twitter is a private school one, and then Facebook is a public school one. in my country, I think we are treating them like that. I have a Facebook account which I've never used that much. I was never that much into social media, and my account is working, it's active. I can actually accept friend requests, I can actually chat with people. On Facebook, you get a whole lot more now. The market what do they call this part of Facebook where you can go and advertise whatever that you're selling. Marketplace, they've got marketplace part of the platform. It has now been turned into a scam, the facility that can be used by scammers to scam other people, So people go paste or post things that don't belong to them. If I am allowed to derail a bit. So people go and paste things that don't belong to them on the marketplace on Facebook, and then you respond to that, then they'll scam you, which is a bad thing that people tend to do, So I think those three social media platforms changed the entire perspective of how we socialize across the world. Today I can talk to anyone, everyone, anywhere, wherever I am. I can interact with an ex-owner, the owner of the platform, on his own platform. I can interact with him and debate with him on issues, I can literally speak to anyone, everywhere, anywhere, at any time of the day. And my point here is that these platforms were not new to us as Africans. In the place where I was born and grew up, we had these platforms. Before Mixit, Facebook and Twitter, we had these platforms in our own way. But because our thoughts and courages and faith was not strong enough, we didn't see these platforms that we had as the world-changing disruptive innovations. We saw them as just one of those things that are useless, Just like when Mixit was first introduced, everyone saw it as it's one of those things that it's for kids, I once saw Mixit like that. I later saw Facebook like that. That's why I was actually a late majority, if something called law of diffusion of innovation. It has a graph. Law of diffusion of innovation simply states the difference amongst amongst people who use new technology across the world, and it groups them according to how they accept and embrace technology. So you have innovators, you have early adopters and stuff. I'll touch base on the law of diffusion of innovation in one of the episodes for you to understand what it is and how it works, so that you understand these things. So we used to have our own social media platforms, but we took them for granted because we didn't have faith in them. There is a plant called sisal plant. Those who know sisal plant, I'm not sure if this plant grows in many parts of this world, but I know in South Africa, many parts of South Africa, you find this plant. Some call it agave plant, agave, agave plant. So it's sisal or agave. So sisal plant, it's a plant, it's an evergreen plant. When it sprouts from, actually it doesn't really sprout from the ground. The plant grows sort of a pole. So it's evergreen leaves, so many leaves. So the leaves are greener, very, very green. And they are forever green. And the leaves are as thick as my hand. And they are long. It's long leaves, thick as my hand. And towards the end of the leaf, they go in a they sort of narrow the shape, and then they go in a narrowed shape, and at the end there's a thorn. There's a brown thorn at the very strong brown thorn. So if I pierce you with that thorn, that thorn is as strong as a steel nail, you know. Yeah, that's sisal plant. So the plant will grow as it reaches its as it grow older and bigger. It will start to grow sort of a pole, a stalk from the plant. The stalk will grow as high as about 7-8 meters high. So the stalk, when it reaches about 7 meters high, it produces a lot of flowers, you know. Some kind of pollination starts taking place. Is it pollination? Yeah, it's pollination. No, it's not pollination. Pollination is when the flowers disperse from the mother to plant themselves. Yeah, so the stalk grows a lot of flowers on top, so it becomes a chandelier of flowers on top of the 7-meter stalk. So you have this chandelier of yellow flowers, and as the flowers grow, pollination starts taking place. But the pollination that takes place during the winter seasons. So the flower turns into a very small plant. It's a small sisal plant, but very, very small, such that the wind will be able to shake the stalk and throw away the small sisal plants. Very small. So that's pollination. So the wind will blow the small plants from the chandelier of flower, and then they'll fall on the ground. Then as it rains, the rainwater will sweep away the small sisal plants, very small, this small. So it will sweep them away and leave them and scatter them everywhere across the ground. And then those little small plants, they will start growing from there. So it doesn't really plant itself through a seed. It plants itself with a small sisal plant. Actually, you can hold the small sisal plant. It has very small leaves, and then it starts growing from there. It becomes a big sisal plant as well. Then the process repeats itself. Now, this is what was happening with the sisal plants. We invented social media through the sisal plants, and this was a platform which we used. I'm not sure if other African countries knows this, but we did this a lot in South Africa. So in the place where I grew up in Mandapsuk, or in Beresford, we did a lot of this. So on this surface of the leaf, because it's green, we could write anything on this surface of the leaf. Normally we would actually break the thorn and then use the thorn to write whatever that we want to write. So if you have a message for anyone, then we'll write the message on that piece of leaf. Then that writing, that engraving on that piece of leaf, it's so strong. The leaf is very strong. You can actually cut the leaf and protect yourself against rain with the leaf. You know, you can actually cut the leaf and knot them together and pull something very hard. You know, so they're very strong. So every time you write something and engrave something on this leaf, the writings will dry up and becomes highly visible and readable. Then they change the color from green to sort of white. So you can actually see the writing. It's like you have typed on a white paper. So you can actually read everything that is on there. That's how we invented our own social media platform. And many people do not realize that we had our own Facebook, we had our own Twitter at the time, but we did not think that this is something that we can take from this step to another step. So that's how innovative we were about this social media thing. But we just lacked that thought to say, guys, how about we take this from here to here, you know? We didn't have that. Now, emojis, the emojis that you have on your social media platform, all those kind of types of emojis, we had them during the time. This is when I started to learn how to write. We wrote a lot of messages on sisal plants, a lot of messages, because sisal plants, They used to grow everywhere, even on the walkways, on the routes that we used to go to school. Everywhere where people walk, there were sisal plants everywhere. So if you want to send a message to someone else, you just go right. So they grow, the plants grow in a group. So you'll find a long rail of sisal plants along the walkway or along the route that many people use. So we use such long rails to write messages. After school, you will find many of us on each and every piece of leaf reading messages. So you will write your message, and many people were hitting on girls using that platform. You would go and write to a girl that you love, and then you'll write whatever message that you want them to know. At the end, you'll put some emojis. You know that, you see that heart emoji, the laughing emoji, whatever emoji, all those brain jolt emojis and everything. We had all of those things. We had all of them. So after school, we would all get stuck there because we knew that we're going to read new messages that were written yesterday. They will start to show today, because as it dries off, then it started to get more visible. Then we'll be able to read what is on the surface of the leaf. And that's what we missed as Africans. Now we have Facebook, we have Twitter. And there's no way that we'll claim this is our thing. We should have done the social media thing and patented it a long time ago. Because this was back in actually when I learned to read and write, I found this system already available. So people were writing messages for each other. So when you stop there, if you get bored, you go to that rail of sisal plants. You're going to read messages about everything. If there's a family that we suspect they practice witchcraft, someone will go and write there, but they won't write their name. They will become anonymous. Then, everyone will see that, oh, this particular family are practicing witchcraft. Apparently, they are responsible for wara. We'll see that, and then we'll gossip about it, and then someone will go and reply. On the same message, you go and reply, yeah, I know it, I saw it. Then, if the leaf is full, then we'll start a new leaf. So you will find yourself being addicted to the sisal plant, because there's so many messages that you have to go through and read. Comedy, gossip, be it social, sports. No, we didn't have sports, because it was a norm for us to assume that the sisal plant system is for gossip, comedy, and social related issues. That's how we got introduced to social media, and this was in 19. I started my first school. I started to go to school. My first schooling days, very, very first, was in 1987. So, yeah, 1987. So, this was in 1993, 94, 93, 94. I was already able to read and write. So we used to write a lot of things there. Whatever that is happening on Twitter, whatever that is happening on Facebook, it's not new. It used to happen back in those days. We used to see people swearing at each other on that system. We used to see people, people used to swear at each other a lot. If you want to laugh, you just go and spend an hour there. Just like how we spent an hour or 2 hours or the entire day on today's social media platforms, especially that one where we swipe. If you don't like the video, you just swipe up. We spend a lot of time on that one. And it's not new. So my point is, we missed the most valuable, disruptive, innovative idea, which no one took serious. So we took it for granted. Today, it would have been us, the owners of such system. We don't own anything today because we take things for granted. We think our thoughts are deceiving us. We think our thoughts are not credible enough. You know, ancient Africans used to write messages on rocks, but the only problem there is that the rocks where they engraved whatever writings were not easily accessible. They were hidden somewhere. It was more like they were sharing this information to specific people. So the places where this information was found or is found, because you can still find some of the rocks which were engraved by ancient Africans, were hidden. So I don't think it was not about social, it was not about interacting with each other. It was more about preserving a certain information for themselves and maybe perhaps the future generations. I don't know. But there's a lot of writings on rocks where you see a lot of emojis, animals, people's faces, that you might even claim that the emojis were actually invented by them. We don't know who they are because they never wrote who they are. They only used pictures to demonstrate whatever that they were thinking at the time. So we can actually claim that these people came up with emojis that we're using today. And another thing that I've realized is that there's an aviation industry which changed the world as well, which was an innovation at some point. So someone innovated or came up with this disruptive innovation to bring about the entire aviation industry. And come to think of it, that industry has never been challenged, has never been disrupted. It has been like that since we knew it. And I've never seen anyone trying to disrupt that industry. It's not like we can't. It's not like there's people who cannot come up with better ideas or come up with disruptive ideas that could actually disrupt the entire aviation industry. But aeroplanes are still aeroplanes. The way they were designed, the way they were engineered by the likes of Isaac Newton, the likes of Einstein and people of calibers like that. So there's still an opportunity for us to innovate and disrupt that space, because I was reading somewhere that a female falcon, I'm not sure if you guys know what a falcon is. A falcon, it's one species in the family of eagles. It's called a falcon. Let's just say an eagle, but it's a falcon, a female falcon. Specifically, I think it's a the one with the yellow peak, peregrine falcon. It was equipped with a satellite tracking system, and I don't know what were they trying to achieve with this exercise or experiment, but they have tracked that thing, and that thing flew from South Africa to Finland in 42 hours. Not 42 hours, 42 days. In 42 days. That thing flew from South Africa to Finland in 42 days. 42 days. And they could track it. It flew for about 10,000 kilometers. 10,000 kilometers from South Africa to Finland in about 42 days. For 42 days, it's just after a month. Come to think of it, that it's highly possible for us to come up with a way that can imitate that falcon and reduce the number of days it flies from South Africa to Finland without using fuel. Yeah, without using fuel. That thing used its own natural energy and it flew. It stopped wherever it stopped. Along the way, consumed some food. And then it continued flying in a straight line, apparently. And then it got to Finland. 10,000 kilometers. So, this is another breakthrough for us to see that through nature, we can be able to innovate a whole lot of ideas that can change the world. So, we end up not owning anything because we take things for granted. Like I was saying, that we could have been the ones in ownership of Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms that we have today. But because we underestimate our thinking, we underestimate our thoughts, we underestimate our strength, we end up not owning anything. With so much degrees that we have, with so much qualifications that we own, we are not owning anything. Why are we not owning anything? Simply because we underestimate our own thoughts. We think it's just a thought. There's nothing like that. Your brains are not just there to beautify your skull. They are there for a reason, and they are not there in the skull to waste time. Every thought that comes out of that material counts. So make it count. Then we'll end up owning something. Ownership is everything. Strive for ownership. If you don't own anything in this world, you are nothing at the end of the day. Yeah, that's simply that. If you don't own anything, you are nothing. So there's these guys who are working on a drug. These guys are working on a drug. Okay, in South Africa, we have a drug addiction program. Not just any drug, but a specific drug. So, majority of our young people, to an extent of older people, are suffering from a drug called Nyaope. It's not an official name because no one can. I hope that thing doesn't fly towards me. No one can actually pin the actual name to this drug because this drug is a mixture of different chemicals and different medicines that they put together. Some of the chemical are taken from some electronic devices, and then there's certain I don't know what these guys are. I don't know how these guys are innovative, but they can't put their innovation together. But whoever who came up with this drug Nyaope, it's very, very smart and innovative. So they put together some chemicals and they came up. And these are guys living in the streets. These are not guys who came up with a chemical in some kind of a lab, sterilized lab or something like that. No, this was done in the streets. Someone was bored. They took this and they combined this and that, and then they mixed them together. They sniffed on whatever they used, they smoked it, and then they realized, no, this is not strong enough, and then they caught some more ingredients, and then until it got to a point where after smoking this thing, you walk with your eyes closed, you talk in a slow motion, when they are high, you talk in a slow motion, you walk with your eyes closed, you don't see anything valuable anymore, you don't value your life, you are afraid of water. When you see water, you run away. Your body itches everywhere, so you have to scratch your body every now and again. And that's that drug. It's called Nyaope. So there's these guys called, I'm just going to announce their name or put out their name. I hope I don't get in trouble because in a way I'm promoting what they're doing. They're doing a very good job because this is a serious problem. One of the biggest problems we have in South Africa, it's a Nyaope problem. Our young people are dying because of that drug. So these guys are developing a rehabilitation drug that is going to counteract the Nyaope. So I think I haven't got a full orientation around this drug. How is the drug going to work? I think they themselves haven't really started using the drug. But as soon as it's done and passed, we'll start to see the drug coming into the market. So they are working on that drug. They are called EMMACEUTICS. Emmaceutics. Check out Emmaceutics. Maybe you can invest something in what they're doing. Maybe you can assist them with whatever assistance that they need, and help them to grow whatever that they're doing, so that they can be able to fight this problem that we're having. Pharmaceutics, and they're developing that drug that's going to fight against that. In closing, young people, South Africa, let's read, guys. This is your time. Let's read. Read something and understand something. This is the book that I would like to recommend to many of you. This book is called Unleash Your Full Potential. Unleash Your Full Potential. It's written by Warren Fearman or Sally Akehorst. Sally Akehorst or Warren Fearman. Sally Akehorst or Warren Fearman. Unleash Your Full Potential. This book talks about taking your thoughts seriously, taking yourself seriously, understanding how your thinking works, how to understand your energy, how to build your capacity of thinking, you know, how to develop your capacity of thinking, how to understand your own thoughts, and how to take your thoughts serious, how to consider the fact that you have been taking your thoughts for granted. This is the book. Get this book wherever you can get it and read this book. It's not a big read, it's a very small read. You can actually read this in 2 days, 3 days, and then probably you'll be able to understand things better. You'll be able to take things serious and be able to grow from pillar to pillar, strength to strength. So with that being said, please subscribe to the channel. There will be a pop-up here. Actually, the pop-up will be here. The face pop-up. The pop-up is the face of the channel, which is myself. So once you see that pop-up, click on that pop-up and subscribe to the channel, and let's interact and share more ideas. With that being said, see you next week. Next week.